for the opportunity to present with you today. I'm going to talk about innovation and talk about how you do it. Not just what it is, but I'm going to show you how to do it. An interesting question to explore before I even start this question is, and you might like to think of it as I'm speaking, what is innovation? Do you know? Because we need a definition. Do you know an interesting statistic? In the 1920s, the life expectancy of a public company in the USA was 65 years. By the 1990s, it had fallen to 10 years. Today, it's approaching 5. That's the graph. 5 years. The question is, how do we fix it? Has anyone got any ideas? What do we do to fix this? The answer is innovation. Now, there's only one way to build a business, and that is to build the top line, the revenue line. You can reduce costs, but that doesn't build the business. You've got to build revenue. There's only one way to build revenue: sell more stuff. Do you know what the single biggest risk in business is? The single biggest risk. The reason most businesses fail? Simple. You don't sell enough stuff. True? If you sell enough stuff, you stay in business and you grow. So what we want to work at is how to find the things to sell that have the minimum market risk. You know, there are only 2 risks in business. The first risk is technical risk, which says, can I do it? And the tech edge can tell you that in a flash. If I want to put a laser pointer in the end of this pen, the tech edge can say, yeah, no problem, we can do that. If I say, I want anti-gravity boots, can you give me anti-gravity boots so I can float around the room? The tech edge will say, wow, that's a great idea, but give us $1 billion in 500 years and maybe we'll get there. We can assess technical risk. The single biggest risk in business, as I said, is market risk. How do we remove it? The answer is innovation. I'm going to discuss innovation, and I'm going to derive a definition before I show you how to do it. I'm going to derive a definition like we derive a mathematical equation. I'm going to do it by posing a couple of questions for you. And you can think about these questions, and then we'll explore how your mind works. Let's pretend it's 1960. And I've just invented and patented a fabulous brand new product called a Rubik's Cube, like this. And I come to you with a winning business plan and I say, invest in my Rubik's Cube, I'm going to sell $1 billion. I ask the question, would you invest? Any investors? 1. I'll see you later, that's fantastic. Brilliant. The question is, the issue is, very few people would invest in that product. But what about this scenario? It's 1940, and I've just realised I make spanners, or as they call them in America, wrenches. You make a wrench by putting a piece of steel under a drop forge, it goes bang, and a wrench falls on the floor. And I've just realised that I've actually lodged a patent for a wrench, and on the other end of it, it's got another size. I've now doubled its value for essentially the same price. I asked the question, would you invest in that? Yes? Hey, have a look. How did your mind work in making these decisions? This is the first thing we need to understand when we think about what innovation is and how we do it. So what I developed was this simple thing called a market risk map. A market risk map. Every product or service in the world fits on this. On this axis we have the categories that define every product or service: industrial or commercial, consumer or fashion. Every product or service in the world fits in there. Industrial products are things like electric drills, bulldozers, power tools, the sort of stuff we buy because we know they will improve the efficiency of our business, and I can measure the benefit. Commercial products, things like fax machines, photocopiers, high-speed internet, software, all that stuff, they're commercial. We buy them for our office because they'll improve our business outcome, and we can measure the return. Consumer products, why do we buy toothpaste? I can buy toothpaste on brand, Colgate or something for $5, or I can buy home brand for maybe $1. I'll make the decision based on price. What about fashion products? Louis Vuitton, Rolex, Prada. Why do we buy those? I'd love someone to explain to me. I have no idea. I can buy a Prada or a Louis Vuitton handbag for $2,000, or I can buy a look-alike for $2. They both serve the same function, but yet many people buy this. It's amazing. On this axis, and remember this is market risk, we have a thing called novelty. We have high novelty, stuff we've never seen before. You go to a patent attorney, the first thing he says is it novel? Have you seen it before? If it's not novel, you can't patent it. If it is novel, you can. Then we have low novelty, stuff we've seen before. You know, in 1960, I was offered distribution rights for fax machines in Australia. I could have been Mr. Fax. And I'm thinking, wow, I wonder if I could sell this. And I thought to myself, would you like to buy the first fax machine in the world? Who are you going to fax? Fax machines had to be sold in pairs. The PC, Thomas Watson, the head of IBM, said there's a world market for 5 PCs, and he was right. You haven't got a PC on your desk, you've got a fast typewriter. If someone hadn't invented word processing and spreadsheets, you wouldn't have a computer on your desk. True? Windows interface, the graphic user interface, who was first with it? Does anyone know?
Xerox.
Xerox, correct. Who put it on the market first? Apple. Who made all the money? The third guy. The third guy. Did DHL, FedEx or UPS invent post? No. They just said, gee, the postal service takes 2 weeks to deliver us a parcel. I'm going to do it overnight. How do we innovate? Well, my material is called matrix thinking. I've written 4 books on this particular subject, and it's exceedingly simple. What we do is we find a structure. I'm an engineer. Engineers love structures. We have a product innovation matrix. On this axis we have seeds. These are the 4 fundamental ways you can improve a business once you have a product in the market. And the 4 things you can do are change the product in some way, improve it in some manner, innovate it, and Apple would be the world champions. The second thing you can do is you can add accessories. Many companies make more money out of accessories than they do, in fact, out of the product. Have you ever been into a shop to buy ink for your printer? And you walk out with a new printer because it's cheaper than the accessory? Many companies do this. The third one is complementary products. McDonald's hamburgers would be the world champion. You walk in and buy a hamburger. Do you think you can walk out with just a hamburger? No, they complement the experience with the fries and the drink and all that stuff, correct? When someone comes to you to buy something, don't sell them the product, sell them the solution, the entire solution. This is the way to do it. And the final one is channel enhancement. When you have a product, a business selling something to another business or a consumer, that's called your channel. What else can you feed into the channel? Developing that relationship is gold. Once you've got it, leverage it. That's a great way to build a business. Now, once we've got a product, doesn't matter what it is, we've got on this axis things called catalysts. I write like this because I don't spell too well, so I'm an engineer and I don't spell too well. We have 12 catalysts. The intersection of a seed and a catalyst asks you to think about innovating something in a particular way. Has anyone heard the term brainstorming? Brainstorming? Completely useless term in my view. So could you brainstorm that for me? I ask people this at conferences and they look at you like you're some sort of dill. You can't brainstorm that. It's an open question. Good. Instead of brainstorming a product, what I like to do is get a product, get a small group of people, put it on the table, and it could be this glass of water, and say, please complete this sentence. I wish this glass of water would turn into beer. Not empty. Stay cold. stay hot, not spill, not break, etc. I wish this pen would be every colour, wouldn't mark my fingers, would easily erase, would digitise into my computer when I wrote on the whiteboard, etc., etc., etc. Get a product, put it on the table, get a small group of people, and make it. I want to finish on another matrix which I get even more excited about, if you can imagine that. Can you imagine that? It's called an opportunity matrix. What is an opportunity? Can anyone tell me? Opportunity is defined in the dictionary as a fortunate intersection of events. Well, I don't want my business to be fortunate. I want systems. So I created a thing called an opportunity matrix. And I defined an opportunity as an observed, fortunate set of circumstances. You've got to look and observe. That's how you find opportunities. And there are 5 things I observe. The first one is predictable activity. What can I predict? And I was interested when we were hearing before, did everyone come back to the same seat? Most often people do. You can predict that with great certainty. The next one is widespreadness. Some of the catalysts include I wish, tracking. Another one's called frustration. Frustration is the greatest source of business and innovation opportunity you'll ever find. Products and services exist because they meet a need. When someone expresses a need, it's usually with a curse. This stuff is simple. This is how you can use this opportunity matrix. This is gold. So I'll finish on this note. The life expectancy of a business in America in the 1920s was 65 years. In the 1990s, 10 years. Today it's approaching 5 and less. The only way to build your business is to innovate. The biggest business risk is market risk. How do you fix it? Find what's working and do it better. That's the message. Thank you very much.